Welcome to Who You Got Wednesday, episode 1 of Sports Talk. How you feeling this Wednesday?
Feeling good, Nick. How you doing? It's been
Not
a while.
doing too bad. Welcome back. Here we go on Who You Got Wednesday. We're going to start with the very first debate. Me and Mike, listen, we're about to enter the no-fly zone.
It's a tough one.
The no-fly zone. This means that it is going to be tough opinions, bold statements that we're going to make about football. And if you don't like listening to opinions, this is your time to walk away.
Yeah,
just click off the video.
Honestly, click off the video.
This is going to be bold statements. We are going to make a claim for our side. Maybe we have the same opinion. We don't even know. But here we go. Let's start with the first one, Mike. And I'm pretty sure the title of this debate is going to be, who's going to have the better 2020 NFL season, Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Mike, I'll let you go and take your opening statements.
Now, this is a tough one. I don't want to make this long. We're going to try to move through these. But picking these two guys is like selecting an ice cream flavor. You can't go wrong with either. Would you agree with that?
Oh, man, no, you can't go wrong with ice cream.
They are in such similar situations. Let's take a look at the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants for a minute. Both have new head coaches, Joe Judge, Matt Rule.
Yep.
Both have struggling offensive lines. They're both about the same. Pro Football Focus ranked all around line the Giants better than the Panthers, but they're both absolutely terrible. The Giants might be better this year, though. I would go as far to say with the rookie, Andrew Thomas, he's my favorite lineman coming out of the draft. I love that pick. The Panthers have a bunch of nobodies. I mean, they got some names, but they're both bad. They both have quarterbacks that aren't going to throw the ball down the field and destroy you with, passing, so they're going to need to throw short passes and run. They both got talented receiver groups.
Yep.
I would say Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. Giants are tough with Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, and
Darius Slayton.
But who do I think is going to have the better 2020 season? I'm going to look at the two quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater and Daniel Jones. Who do I think is going to play better between them? Bridgewater, and that's why I'm going to say McCaffrey's going to have the better season. I think he's going to be on the better team. What he did last year was unheard of. Only two guys have done it before him, 1,000. It's tough to do. I'm not saying Saquon. Saquon is the only other guy in the league that I would say could do that. Maybe him and a healthy David Johnson. We saw David Johnson get close. But it's going to be close between these two. But I'll tell you right now, Nick, I don't think either of these guys are this year's rushing leader.
Really?
That's a discussion for another video. Neither of these guys, they weren't the rushing leader this year. Neither of these guys will be the rushing leader this season either. There's going to be somebody else. But I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey has the better season than Saquon Barkley. Even though he touched the ball a ton, I just think the Panthers are a better football team. And I think they're going to use him more effectively. I still question the Giants.
You know, I hear your points here, but I'm going to have to go with Saquon Barkley because the above reasons. First things first, as I've stated multiple times, I just feel like Saquon Barkley is more talented. As a prospect coming out of college, he was one of the best prospects we've ever seen. The analysts would agree with us. And I thought so myself, watching with my two own eyes, he was the best guy I've ever seen before coming out of college. Saquon Barkley did nothing to disprove that he is very talented. I mean, an injury this year does not dethrone him, in my opinion. And one season ago, we were considering him the best running back in the league. Saquon Barkley, as you mentioned, his offensive line over the years have been pretty dang shaky, and nowadays you think with adding the best run-blocking offensive lineman in the draft, and Andrew Thomas only helps. They also added Cameron Fleming this offseason as well. And you know what? I got to say, that helps a lot. When I looked at it, defensive help, which will help them get the ball in offense more. I'm certain that Daniel Jones...
Sorry to interrupt you. Both defenses are questionable also.
Yeah.
They're both young. You don't know what you're going to get. They haven't been good over the last couple of years. They're such similar
very similar teams. But again, with the Giants adding Blake Martinez, Xavier McKinney, James Bradbury, a good veteran from Carolina, this is only going to help the offense get the ball back more. Joe Judge's scheme, pound the rock, give the ball more. Saquon Barkley's going to get the ball a lot. I'm certain that Daniel Jones is going to take that next jump, as a lot of young quarterbacks do. I really think he's going to make that next step. And sometimes that next step is, let's not turn over the ball and give it to the check down. Exactly. The check down is Saquon Barkley. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater is going to be a little bit more loose with it. Very conservative, very accurate. I feel like he'll be finding targets downfield and not have to dump it off as much. Although Chris McCaffrey, again, another great option. And I'm not disrespecting Chris McCaffrey at all by saying that I think Saquon Barkley is going to be better. when we look at the simple things, everyone says Saquon Barkley, they dethrone him because of the injury this year. The guy had over 1,003 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns this season, 438 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns receiving-wise. Missed 3 games. No one he missed that game. No one he got injured. It was week 3 he got hurt. That means he played with this injury for the rest of the season, and he still was a 1,000-yard rusher, had 1,400 yards, over 1,400 yards, and had 8 total touchdowns. That's almost 2,000 yards. His rookie season with Pat Shurmur, over 2,000 yards in total yards. Not 1,000 that we look at that is so dang special, but he still had over 2,000 scrimmage yards. And again, one more thing I want to point out. Barkley missed 3 games in 2019, and him and only Barry Sanders have at least 20 total touchdowns and 3,400 scrimmage yards and under 625 touches. It's a very historical stat. Yeah, and again, he missed 3 games.
I hear you here.
Just crazy.
McCaffrey ran for more yards this year than Barkley has ever run in his career. Granted, he got hurt, but he still outrushed him, and he scored 19 touchdowns this year, including his reception touchdowns, which is also more than Saquon's ever had in the season. But I hear you. I mean, an injury affects everyone, but, I mean, it's going to come down to the wire with these two. Let me ask you, who's going to have the better year, Teddy Bridgewater or Daniel Jones?
I mean, we're all expecting Teddy Bridgewater to have the better year, and I do not disagree. I do think Teddy Bridgewater
will have a better year. Don't you think that's going to open up things for Christian McCaffrey running the football? This year, it was Christian McCaffrey. But now, if Teddy Bridgewater is throwing the ball effectively, Christian McCaffrey is going to run the ball even easier.
I do think so, but I also think that Daniel Jones is going to take that second step. I mean, Saquon Barkley, again, what we got to understand is he still had over 1,000 yards with Daniel Jones in the backfield, and he missed 3 games. Yeah. Imagine if he's there for 16 games healthy with a Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel Jones is a little bit better than Kyle Allen. Christian McCaffrey had Kyle Allen back there with him this year. So.
I hear you. But again, right now, I think if you are any defense playing against the Panthers, you do got weapons. You got to cover those offensive weapons. But I feel like they just got as good as weapons on the Giants receiving core. But I just feel like it comes down, in my opinion, again, no disrespect to McCaffrey, but I feel like that Saquon Barkley is honestly, here we go, more talented. I just feel like the talent is going to show with Barkley. It's tough to say that. I mean, these are top 2 for sure. There's nobody else. If we had to say best running back in the league, I'm going to go with Barkley. You're going to go with Christian McCaffrey. Neither of us have any bias because neither of these guys are running backs. So, I mean, if for anyone else to say anything else, I think it's foolish. And Madden totally disagrees.
Nightmares, but I think McCaffrey is more of a matchup nightmare in the pass game. Which is
absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see if Teddy Bridgewater plays the way he played with New Orleans. This Panthers team is going to be tough, and I think McCaffrey is going to have a crazy season.
I just feel like as a running back, your running needs to be your number one asset. McCaffrey brings in the receiving. New running backs nowadays need to receive the ball. I feel like Barkley can still receive the ball. I mean, he can receive better than Derrick Henry, for crying out loud. Barkley is one of the best receiving backs in the league. Does McCaffrey have that little step on him? Absolutely. But I think Barkley has a little bit more than just a step on McCaffrey running the ball. Again, no disrespect, but I've seen McCaffrey get stuffed 2 times at the goal line, and that frustrates me a lot.
I wouldn't go say McCaffrey's that much better of a runner. I mean, Saquon's that much better of a runner. McCaffrey ran for 15 touchdowns this year.
I hear you. No,
1,387 yards.
Yep.
That's a solid season.
He had a great season. I hear you.
You don't do that if you can't run.
Again, that's why these guys are both so good. But I'm telling you, when I look at my notes, this season coming up, the offense of the Giants have built offense better than the Panthers have.
I disagree with you. The Panthers' offense is better than the Giants' offense.
Do you think they added what pieces did they add? All they added was Teddy Bridgewater,
Robbie Anderson,
and Robbie Anderson. I'm sorry,
Robbie Anderson right now would be the number 1 wide receiver on the Giants.
Could be. I mean, I still like Golden Tate.
I like Golden Tate. I'm a big fan of Golden Tate. They got 2 slot receivers. The Giants got Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate. They got 2 slot receivers. They worked them pretty good this year. But I mean,
again,
the Panthers just got DJ Moore is the best wide receiver out of both the groups.
Oh, I would say DJ Moore is very good. I like DJ Moore a lot.
I just think the Panthers' offense is going to be more dynamic.
When I look at a running back, you need an offensive line, and when I compare the 2 offensive lines right now, we knew Barkley had a troubling offensive line. Remember, it's only been this is Barkley's 3rd year going into terrible offensive line the last 2 years. Okay. McCaffrey's had, I think, a better line than Barkley's been running behind. Now, I think it kind of flops. If we're looking for a better 2020
they're
season.
so close. They're so close. Pro Football Focus ranked the Giants ahead of the Panthers
Last season.
Season. But you got to understand, McCaffrey got his rookie year taken away from him, and it wasn't because he couldn't play. I don't think Ron Rivera knew how to coach him. I'm going to come right out. I like Ron Rivera. I think he's a great coach in this league. But I don't think he knew how to coach Christian McCaffrey. And Matt Rule comes into programs and he turns them around. You saw what he did in Temple. You saw what he did in Baylor. I think Matt Rule's going to have success in the NFL, and I think the Panthers are going to be a tough team.
And I hear you on that, but here's my question. When we talk about Pat Shurmur, who had his hands on Saquon Barkley, is that much better?
No.
Exactly. So both of these guys have. Yeah. I mean, I think Ron Rivera is a little bit more credentialed
I agree with you. See, Pat Shurmur didn't know what he was doing. He just said, let's give the ball to Saquon Barkley, our first-round pick.
Yeah.
I don't think Rivera thought enough to put McCaffrey in the offense.
Yeah, no, we'll have to wait and see. Again, it's going to come down to the wire here between these two. But again, I just truly, personally, I feel like Saquon Barkley is just a better running back than Chris.
Yeah.
Again, how close?
Sorry.
Not much.
Rivera figured it out over time, but his rookie year, I think McCaffrey could have did wonders. I think he could have did just as good. Not as this year, but I think he could have had a great season,
year.
and he didn't touch the ball much.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. But we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think as we get on to our next debate very shortly. We'll see you guys soon. Let me know what you think.